Hi, I'm Marie Lockwood. Thanks for joining me here at Cakes, Cooking, and More. Today we are making 3 types of buttercream. We have a raspberry, which is a nice fluffy light one. It will thicken when you need to. Pop it in the refrigerator for a few minutes and it'll stiffen up a little bit. If it gets too thick, you can always stick it back in the microwave for 10 seconds until it's cooled back down. We have a nice chocolate buttercream and we have a nice vanilla buttercream. As you can see, each one has a very good consistency for decorating. Now you can buy decorator's icing. The difference is that a lot of times you're not going to be able to find flavored. Depending on what kind of cake you're doing, you're going to want flavored. The raspberry goes very well with chocolate cake. Also goes well with lemon, white, whichever kind you want. Chocolate is chocolate, so it kind of goes with everything. And vanilla, which kind of goes with everything. I like making my own buttercreams at home. One of the reasons I like them is you can use them to decorate with. You're not going to be able to do that with store-bought icing. Store-bought icing is not made for decorating. Now you can buy decorator's icing. I don't know about your local grocery store. Mine doesn't carry it. But I am able to find it at places like Michael's, party supply stores, Hobby Lobbies. I can find it there, but it's always plain vanilla. If you make it at home, you can make it much nicer. We're going to start with our vanilla, work to our chocolate, and then go to our raspberry. And let's see what we need. Okay, so for today's recipe, we are making 3 different kinds of buttercream. For all of them, you will need a little bit of milk. You'll need a 1 cup measuring cup, a 1 tablespoon, and a 1 teaspoon. You'll need some of your unsalted stick butter, powdered sugar. For 2 of them, we will be using the vanilla. For 1, we'll need raspberry liqueur. And for 1, we'll need chocolate chips. For the first one, we'll just do a vanilla buttercream. Okay, so for our first one, we're doing vanilla buttercream. What you're going to want is a 1/3 cup of butter. Add that to your mixer. And you're going to start with that because you want to get it soft. So let's soften that. Now, I don't know if you can see the softened butter, but just a little bit soft. I let mine sit on the counter overnight and that helped. Okay, now you're going to want to add your 2 teaspoons of vanilla, along with adding your 2 tablespoons of milk. And your milk really doesn't matter if you prefer skim milk versus whole milk. Any of those work just fine. Alright, and then you're going to have 3 cups of powdered sugar. You're going to want to add it about half at a time. After you get about half in there, go ahead and turn your mixer on until it's well mixed. After that, go ahead and stop your mixer, add the rest of your powdered sugar, and then we're just going to run it again until everything is well mixed. Okay. At this point, if you've noticed that your mix is very dry, usually it means that there's a very low humidity and you can add a little more milk. You want to be careful with your milk and not do more than a tablespoon at a time. So at this time, I'm just going to add 1 more tablespoon. And those of you who are asking, this is a 1/2 tablespoon measuring spoon. Alright, then you're just going to mix again. Looks like I need about 1 more tablespoon. The higher the humidity is in the area that you're in, the less milk you'll actually need to be able to do this. Let's mix a little more. Okay, now at this point, you should be able to see that you've got some nice thick, it's not just falling off, it's nice thick buttercream. And that is what you want when you're going to be decorating a cake. You want it to be able to hold its shape so that you can use it to make flowers, letters, whatever it is you want to do. So we've got a nice mixture there. And I'll just move that aside so that you can see it's a nice, light, fluffy, white buttercream. Now, we will be right back and we will start our chocolate buttercream. Okay, so now we're going to start our chocolate buttercream. For this one, you need 3 cups of powdered sugar, a 1/3 cup of butter, 3 ounces of your unsweetened baking chocolate, 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now on this one, we need to get our chocolate melted. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our butter into a microwavable safe container along with our milk. And we're going to pop this in the microwave at 30-second intervals until it's very warm. It doesn't have to be boiling, and you need to watch it because it will boil up and over. You don't want to mess up the inside of your microwave. But it takes probably 1.5 minutes, but we'll see how long it takes. And we'll be right back. So we're back. My milk and butter took about a minute. We're just going to pour that on top of our chocolate. We're going to let it set for just a few seconds so that the chocolate can start to melt. Alright, then we're going to take a spatula very carefully, stir in our chocolate, milk, and butter mixture until we have a nice, even, smooth chocolate. It's breaking up very nicely, although we still have quite a few chunks in there. Okay, now at this point, you'll see that we have fairly thin, this is not chocolate ganache, so it's not going to be thick. It's going to be a nice thin mixture that we are then going to pour over our powdered sugar. Looks like we have a few clumps left in the bottom, but that's okay. Our mixer will take care of that. Alright, now you're going to take your vanilla and add that. You want to give it a light stir with your spatula before we get the mixer, just because the powdered sugar always wants to poof up into a big cloud right in your face when you turn in the mixer. So this is just to sort of dampen everything, make it a little easier for us and a little less cleanup when we're done. As you can see, the icing is turning a nice pretty brown. Alright, then you're just going to scrape off your spatula, grab your mixer. Don't have to mix for too long, but you do want to make sure that you stop. Go back and scrape the sides for any larger pieces that you want to mix in. You want a nice smooth mixture. As you can see, at this point, we have a nice, smooth chocolate buttercream. Now, because we used hot chocolate, this is going to be a lot thinner than your normal buttercream. Keep in mind that you can always set it in the refrigerator if you're ready to decorate with it. You need, 5 minutes. If you set it in too long, leave it out in a piping bag already ready or in your bowl, and it'll just go back to room temperature. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Now that we have a nice mixture, we're very happy with this. We will be back in just a minute to start on the raspberry. Okay, for our third buttercream, we are doing a raspberry. And I do have about 10 more buttercream recipes, but we'll have to do those in other videos because there are just a little too many for one video. Okay, so for our raspberry buttercream, we have 1 cup of butter, which is also 2 sticks. We have 3 cups of powdered sugar, half a cup of raspberry liqueur. If you don't want to use that, the liquor evaporates, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you want to use the other, you can use raspberry simple syrup. This is 2 teaspoons of vanilla is what we're going to need. Alright, so first we're going to start off with blending our butter just like we have been. We want a nice soft whip. You don't have to overdo it, you just want to make sure it's nice and softly whipped. And as you can see, I did set my butter out overnight just to get it soft enough. Alright, now you're going to add your raspberry liqueur. You're going to add your vanilla. And then we're just going to give it another whip because we want to make sure we get that mixed into our butter very well. Alright, now that we've got a good mixture going here, we're going to once again only add half of our powdered sugar just to get it started. Then we're going to mix again. Okay. At this point, we're going to add the rest of our powdered sugar. We're going to scrape all of this stuff that has flung up on the sides of our bowl down. Okay, and we're going to go back to mixing. Stop about halfway through and just scrape everything back down again. And you can use a regular stand mixer for this. I only have one stand mixer, so we're having to improvise as we go. I have no idea why I'm doing that with the wrong hand. Seemed like it would show up better on the camera, but it's making it very difficult for me to do this. Alright, now we're just going to scrape all the way to the bottom. Make sure that we don't have a big chunk of powdered sugar stuck at the bottom. Looks like we're in good shape. It's looking pretty good. Now at this point you'll notice it has a vague pinkness. It's not a lot of pink. You can add food coloring if you want just a bit more. It's not required, but you will be able to taste the raspberry. Alright, and I will be back with you in just a moment. Okay, so now that we've finished our buttercreams, we have our raspberry. As you can see, it's a nice light whipped consistency. It does harden up. You just have to let it cool long enough. You can also pop it in the refrigerator to get it a little more stiff. This is our chocolate, which as you can see, now that it has cooled down, it has thickened quite a bit. If your buttercream is too thick, remember that you can pop it in the microwave. I would do about 10-second intervals, not any longer than that. If it gets too soft, you can't work with it. And then our nice vanilla. Now that we've finished our 3 buttercreams, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me on Cakes, Cooking, and More. I'm Marie Lockwood, and I hope to see you again soon. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you would like to see new videos in the future. Also, the little bell next to subscribe lets you be notified anytime new videos have been uploaded. Thank you and have a great day.